Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Frank here, and I'm going to be talking about a topic that I've already spoken about on this channel recently, and that is called addiction. Now, I didn't talk about the family member that I live with that has addiction. I was talking about, addiction in general. But of course, this family member is my mum, and she wants me to talk about her addiction on here just to see if there's anything new, see if I get any comments that comes in. I'm surprised I didn't get any comments in that previous video, which is disappointing. But yeah, hopefully this video would be an inspiration to people at least. And if only she would have told me to make a video like this before, it would have been so much more easier to talk about. But yeah, you know what? She wants me to talk about her addiction, so I'll just go through it. Now, living with someone, like my mum that has addiction, it's extremely tough. There's a lot of frustration. Just when you think that they're getting better, they're not. And it's kind of a mum situation where even though she goes to these meetings, she does all the activities, that isn't enough, right? That is, and I've got to be careful what I say and how I say certain things. She might get mad at me. But that's the whole point. It's about honesty, it's about my opinion on things. And what I say is mostly factual and logical. And that isn't really enough. When she tells me she goes to these meetings, that is not enough. When you go to these programs, meeting, courses, you got to apply it in real life. You can't just go to these things and they say, oh, I got a certificate, look, I did it. If you didn't graduate from uni, you graduated from a meeting that you wouldn't have to go through if you weren't drinking at the start of your life. And there's a difference on that. And I've explained to my mum so many times. My mum seems to be proud of these certificates, proud of going to these meetings. But that's nothing though. That is nothing. You got to apply it for home. She there's times where she's come back home and she's drunk and she's been drinking, and yeah, and like I said, that's not enough right there. Like, if you really want to change, you got to let your body fight it. When people talk about withdrawals, I get that, right? Fair enough. But withdrawals is kind of like your body fighting it. There's people that go through withdrawals, but majority don't pass like that. They don't pass away. Their body fights it, and they just sort of get used to not doing it. But because my mum has been doing it often each year, it's different scenario. Like if she was drinking far less in the last 5-6 years, then I feel like her body would be not used to drinking as much as it used to. And I explained this to her, and I keep telling her, you got to keep going, because when you give up and when you continue doing what you're doing, your body ain't going to get used to not drinking. Your body's going to continue it. I'd like to mention she's on medication too. I don't know if I should mention that. She didn't specify what I should have mentioned, right? This is what she told me. So I'm just going to say, even the medication makes up of it. That's what messes her body up. And then she talks about shaking and all that type of stuff, right? That's because your body was craving the alcohol. As soon as you start drinking, that's when that happens. And I notice it. I'm not dumb. I'm her son, right? And I know for a fact that these things only happen when she started to drink it, when she's been drinking. When she's gone a week or two without drinking, she doesn't suffer these health issues, and I know it for sure. She's had friends over. There's only probably one untrustworthy friend that I know. I'm not going to mention names. One untrustworthy friend, probably two. I should think that she's brought over before that I don't like, and they're the worst influence for her because they make her do that sort of stuff. And I have to keep telling her, the bad influences are going to ruin your life, and that's what happens. The good influences give her a limit. Fair enough, if you want to have a drink, maybe on occasions, fair enough, at birthdays or Christmas, you could get away with that. It's a traditional weddings maybe, or that, fair enough, or parties, but it's, but don't take advantage of it, because she goes to these meetings and she gets told good things, but she probably also had a telling off too. I wouldn't be surprised. You can't milk it and take the advantage. When people say, oh, you got to drink a bit to help your health, and I told her this too, you can't milk the most of the situation about drinking a lot more just because they say you can drink a bit. Drinking a bit does not constitute drinking a whole bottle or two. And I've had a word with her about this, and there's people that stick up for and say all these things. Yeah, but I know my own mother, right? Ever since Nan and Granddad passed, she blames it on that, and that is not good. You can't blame it on relatives or friends that have passed away, right? They've been gone for years, and yeah, there's still parts of it that I grieve to them. Obviously I do miss going there, but there's other things in life that are important. You can't just have them in your head constantly. You know, they've been passed away. It was like they just passed away a year ago. They passed away a few years ago. And the fact is, this has been ongoing for Mum's whole life. So she can't blame it on them passing. I'm not going to mention other things that she went through. Unless she wants me to, then I'll probably do it in a separate video. But yeah, she sort of blamed on that. This has been going for, if you've been drinking or smoking, taking drugs like an age of 10, 11, 12, 13, that's going to draw into your head in like 30 years, and your body will not get used to that. You know what I'm saying? So the body will not get used to that entirely. I explained this, so your body needs to get used to not doing it. And there's been times when me and her have had arguments, and she disrespected me and spoken crap to me, but I don't care. I don't mind people talking crap to me, because at the end of the day, I spoke a lot of facts to her, a lot of logic to her, and she doesn't get that. Like, the thing is with her, she doesn't take accountability for her actions. And I explained this to her, she knows this. I remember, she didn't specify what I can and cannot say, but I'm being careful with my words. She just said, I just said, the reason why people change, the reason people are probably changing quicker than us, because they take accountability quickly and do something about it, instead of just like blaming other people. And that's the thing with addiction, what I've noticed. When people are addicted to something, they blame other people. It makes them feel better. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure I might have brought people up as well in arguments or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure I might have done. And it makes me feel better, because those people are probably in worse situation than me, or similar, or whatever, right? But it makes me feel better. And I understand why she'll bring that up. It makes her feel better. But she brings up people that are getting about with their life and not doing what she's doing. And then she says everyone is against it. That's the thing with addiction. It's like they're in a different reality. It's like, you know, when people take drugs, people addicted to drugs, they look around and it's like they're in a different dimension. It's like there's like a portal in front of them, and they walk through it and they look around and they think everyone's against, they think the whole world is different. When they snap out of the whole addiction thing, they sort of go back to reality and go back to normal. It's kind of like, it's like a different world to them. One second, just drink this tea up right here. I don't usually do that on my videos, but I had to take a sip. I don't want it to get too cold. But yeah, this one, I feel like a therapist. Like, I feel like I wish I had a job as a therapist, maybe a YouTube therapist. You know, if that's even a thing, or TikTok therapist. I know I need to be, you know, some sort of certificate for that, or whatever degree. But I could help people out like this. I've helped people out. But at the same time, they got to help themselves. It's not for me to give this advice to them, but in their minds, they need to do it themselves. And my mum knows. I've told her for this, and she knows. She knows what I'm saying is right, but she has to bring up here to make herself feel better. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about finances or anything that's not relevant. But when she brings up finances that aren't relevant to the conversation, it puzzles me, because I'm not the one living with them. I'm the one living with her. So really, it was like she should be listening to me just as much as I usually listen to her. It works both ways. A parent sometimes has to listen to their kid at all times, because the kid can say something very important. If it wasn't the other front, I had an addiction, she would tell me, she'll give me a bollocking. She'll yell at me, scream at me. If I brought around random people, right, which she don't, but she just been around the odd person from a meeting or whatever, which is okay. Well, I don't mind people that she brings around that from a meeting, but at the same time, it makes me uncomfortable, because they're strangers to me. Instantly it brings them over thinking, oh, they're from a meeting, so they're going to be okay. No, they're not. They're still with the same process as you. Once they start drinking one bottle, they're going to drink a whole load. And she knows this. And then she doesn't like it. But if I was to bring in somebody that she don't like over, she'll be having a word with me about it. This is why I let her know and have a bit of respect for the house in terms of like bringing the right people over. And I had a word with her about this. And maybe that part was a bit too much to mention in this video, but it's true. I'm only mentioning people from a video, but not. What am I saying? I only mention people from a meeting, bear that in mind. So, and I'm not me going to these meetings, but why should I? Like, it's up to her to fix it. If you're posting these certificates, people will think that you're actually making huge progress. But if you've been drinking a bit more in a few months, you've regressed. You haven't progressed. There's a difference. And there's a time when she went through a 1 or 2 month period where she wasn't doing that at all. And yeah, it was great. I was used to her not drinking for at least 1 or 2 months, but then she goes back to it because she's not used to doing that. But she was fine. Her health was fine. She wasn't shaking, she wasn't having any of those panic attacks or anything. She only has those when she's been drinking, and I noticed. So yeah, look, I mean, I don't know what your family members like or friends like, if whoever you live with, what their addiction situation is like, if it's mild, moderate, severe, but my mom's situation is severe at that moment, and it's not, I'm not scared, I'm not even worried for her anymore. Like, the thing is, she's still drinking to a point where one of these days she will end up dead somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds grim, but that's how I feel. When it comes to people with addiction, you always get concerned with their situation, how did they be consuming something or taking something, and you're afraid that they might die somewhere, like, you know, in a ditch, so in like a pavement or wherever. I mean, it's come to a point now where I usually fear for her, because she drinks so much. She doesn't understand, so she doesn't care. People with an addiction don't care, because they think, okay, it's an addiction and it's a long process, so none of you understand. And I'm thinking we do understand. You don't have to be in that situation to understand. That I live with someone with addiction. I can tell you one thing, we know how it would work for them. Like, I find this is why I'm the best person, because I haven't been through something like that. I help people out more because I can help them snap out of it. And it's not as simple as just, clicking your fingers, okay, that's a process. But with my mum, she always talks about how, it's a process that's going to take a long time. Well, how long? Because you've had years and years, and that's the thing. She could have started from somewhere, but she needs to start from somewhere. And I told her this. This video should be an inspiration to her, because the more you actually improve on yourself, the more you're going to prove those people wrong. Because some people think bad about everything. She's an alcoholic and everything, right? She needs to start proving them wrong, because if she doesn't, then they're just going to be proven right time and time again. I said to her, don't worry about what other people are saying. That's the reason. She blames them. What they say shouldn't affect her. It should be what she's doing. She should be determined to do it herself. If the things, I've also had a word with about this, and I'm sure your family members and friends have done this same thing too. But if they have enough energy to have a go at you because they have an addiction, they have enough energy. They should have enough energy to try and change and actually, make progress and to cut out the addiction and to reduce it. But they should have enough energy to do that. If they have enough energy to drink, why not put that same energy into trying to reduce it? You know what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense. And it can be difficult. And the main concern for me is with my mum too. There's a few concerns, the ones I just mentioned, and the fact that she's going to be in a coma one day. That's usually, I'm not even worried, because it feels like she's regressing as time goes on and she's giving up. But when she doesn't drink, it's like, why don't you do that more often? She's had days when she doesn't drink. She could easily continue that, but somehow she acts like someone's put a gun to her head and makes her drink. That isn't how it should work. She should at least try and make her body fight it. That's how it should be. Try and get people around, try and show you can change, but she hasn't shown that much a change each year. So I keep telling her this. You got to keep going. The days that you don't drink, continue that. It's like alcohol never existed. I keep telling her this. But then she goes ahead and just has a go at me in that situation. But when she's sober, she understands it. It's it's kind of like a cycle, basically. It's kind of like, it feels like I'm in a mental asylum here. It feels like I'm the one that is going crazy. But I've got a problem with it, don't I? I mean, there's not much else I've got to do. I mean, I live here, so I could just go out anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know I can help her. I've given enough support. I know that, I can. It's difficult to explain, but I know there's a part of her that wants to change, but she doesn't do it, and she keeps saying it, but she doesn't. At least have 2 weeks then. Start from there. You got to start from somewhere. Don't start from somewhere random. You got to have a target of how often you're drinking. At least then your body will get used to that target. It's like a schedule that you plan. She hasn't even planned a schedule like that. I don't know why I'm the one to say this. I don't even know why. I have no idea. I drink the odd times, but I'm not a heavy drinker. My body ain't used to alcohol, which is a great thing for me. But that means my body's got a low tolerance, which is how it should be. People that have a high tolerance to alcohol earlier on in their life, I feel sorry for them in the future. I really do. And yeah, but that's what I mean. Is there anything else I could say to this? Well, nothing much I can say. But one thing I can say is that, Mum, if you're watching this video, please take this as inspiration, because nothing else so far has worked. I mean, I don't even think rehab will work. That's even expensive. There's no point in thinking about that, to be honest. Even though it has been on my mind, but there's nothing else. There's nothing else you can do in there, can she? She might even cause trouble there. I don't know. I'm saying, being careful what I'm saying here. I've got quite a few jokes here and there in it, so no, I don't want this video to be too long, as I tell you the situation here with living at home. Also, she needs to, she needs to actually drink reduced, a lesser percentage of alcohol, because drinking high percentages is going to mess her up a lot. There's choices that she has, but she keeps choosing the wrong ones each day, and it's consuming her. It really has, 100%. And the reason I'm not getting emotional with this is because I've been used to it. There's not been any significant change throughout the years to make me go, oh wow, okay, fantastic. There's only been like the odd times where, okay, yeah, she hasn't drank, but it will start up again. So I don't know what to say about this video, but yeah, I don't want to go on and on here. That's my situation of living with someone that has an addiction to something, especially alcohol. I don't know anybody that has an addiction to drugs, so I can't make a video on that. If you want, you can watch my video on me just talking about addiction in general. But yeah, my mum wanted me to make this video, so Mum, I hope you take this video as inspiration. Just take this like a therapy video, whatever, therapy video, counselling video. Take it however you want. And actually, you can show this video to a meeting if you want, to your meeting, to wherever you go, for these things. And I don't know what other meetings you do that relates to addiction, but it's to be inspiration to them too. So yeah, look, I don't know what else I could have mentioned. I think that's really about it. I don't want to make this video too long. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment. I would really appreciate it if this video gets comments, even if it's not many. Just give me your opinions of what you think is like an addiction, what your opinion of it. You might have a different opinion to mine, so you might have a different solution to me. I don't know. But yeah, please be respectful as well. It is a sensitive topic. No hating or anything like that. You can disagree with me on something, but no being a bit like crazy in the comments. Like I'm just talking about me living with a mum as an addiction to alcohol. So yeah, so comments would really be appreciative. Share it as well. Share it when you know, it'd be really appreciative as well. Just sorry, my mum let the cat in there. But yeah, share it as well. Just share it with everybody, even if it's people that haven't gone through any addiction or doesn't anybody with an addiction. Just share it, because that will give them inspiration too. I just want to be an inspiration to people like that, to be fair, and to see what they think of my opinion on it, and to see what their opinions of it, and to see what their solutions are as well. Yes, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll see you in my next video.